digital transformation will just be accelerated. And I think a lot of organizations have been struck by the fact that things that they might have been doing over a year or two, now they're doing in a month or two, and they're saying to themselves, how do we keep that pace going even as we return to a more normal environment? And the debate is no longer, is it the public cloud or the private cloud? It's both. And for any given workload, there's going to be a right place to do that. And I think the rise of Kubernetes is also somewhat a reaction to the idea that people don't want to get locked into a particular place for their workloads. And so having the ability to move things around and recognizing that, there's the edge is really where there's going to be a tremendous amount of growth.
Beyond that, I think what companies are now thinking about is, if this pandemic was something that no one could have ever expected or anticipated, so now is the time for me to actually really think about the real architecture that I want to build to, comprised of both my on-premise infrastructure as well as my cloud architecture, to your point. And how do I need to actually spend the time and the cycles right now while everyone's attention is on preparedness and understanding and they know what we went through to get to where we are. So for us, what that means is that we're obviously working with customers on distributed cloud security architectures. We're spending a lot of time with customers on hardening their work from home environment and what are the long-term technology shifts that we may need to bring into the home, particularly for that high-end user, whether it's a trader in the financial services market or something else. And then our customers have been looking at evolving their sort of wide area networks between their branches, their mobile users, their private data centers, and the cloud. And I think this is going to accelerate their desire to simplify that environment and figure out how do I, instead of me navigating this complexity of trying to figure out all my traffic flows and where they're going to go, is there a simpler way for me to just get my traffic moving securely and then have it delivered to the right place? And so we're having a lot of conversations. This is a combination of cloud security, SD-WAN, and the network in general. So that's a big discussion that we're having. In the service provider space, we have obviously seen, we launched a whole new portfolio of products in December, which the timing was very good, largely targeted at the next generation backbones and access layer, driven a lot by 5G and the capacity that we expect from that. Well, we got a little preview of the capacity surge in this work from home environment, and we've seen a lot of them upgrading their infrastructure. We've seen a lot of them now actually talking about accelerating the shift to 5G. And so that's a very timely transition for us that we're very excited about. And then when you look at this technology, we think that every industry is going to transform to some extent, but particularly you think about how governments around the world have been using WebEx to continue to meet and actually continue to do business at a time where they're not together. Healthcare is going to change forever with telehealth finally. I think we all understand what's happening in higher education, and they'll probably end up in a hybrid model where they'll have in-class students and they'll have remote students. And so all of those areas are areas of focus for us with our customers and our portfolio right now.
Yeah. And, we described in a sentence, what we said is we want to be the digital infrastructure for our customers' digital transformation. We do that by helping you build, run, manage, connect, and protect any app on any cloud for any device. So that's sort of the summary statement. But if we tease that apart a little bit, help you build any application, right, which is very much a Tanzu statement, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Help you run it on any cloud, right? And that's in your data centers, turning those into proper clouds, automation. Sort of the rule of the cloud is ruthlessly automate everything.
Yeah,
right?
We say relentless automation.
right. But also being able to do that on any public cloud and harness the power of these hyperscalers as they continue to grow. Help you to manage those environments, and particularly all the devices, Workspace ONE, being able to connect, manage, deploy, upgrade, patch, help you secure. right? Which, with our intrinsic security strategy, as I've described it, Eric, the industry for security is a broken industry. Too many point products, way too much expense, way too hard to operationalize, and much too little security. So build it into the app environment and into the infrastructure intrinsically, so you don't have yet another thing to be adding and operationalizing. It's just built into what you're already doing. And then finally, this complete end-to-end connectivity to the edge, to the WAN, the bank transformation, transform the networks inside of the data centers. And those five together, build, run, manage, connect, protect, we're uniquely positioned to go do those. I believe that COVID is an accelerant for digital transformation.
Me too.
Right. So, right, it's just going to say, oh, boom, I need to do these projects. I got work from home. I have to turn efficiency. I need, right, to improve WAN performance. All of those things become accelerants. Industries that couldn't transform now are being forced to transform over days or weeks. Now, in that, obviously, if GDP gets hit by 20% in Q2, right, sort of, the general economic impact, right, I believe that IT will get affected, but less than GDP. Maybe IT gets affected 10%, right? It'll be down, and then software and cloud will be down less. So, and I believe there are several points between GDP, tech spending, and software and cloud. And but nobody, if the market goes down 20%, nobody is not affected, right? Everybody gets affected. And then the CIO needs to come in and say, which projects, so I'm being affected less, digital transformation is more important, but I need to look at all of my priorities, right? Because all of a sudden, hey, I got 20,000 work from home people. Okay, these priorities are way more important than, could have I lived on the ERP for another 6 months? Yeah, I could have, right? So I think everybody's going to be juggling their priorities inside of a somewhat trimmed budget. And against that, anything that helps save money and transform faster is higher value in that list. So I think the value proposition of virtualization has always been a cost and efficiency dynamic. We believe we can do more of that in the network, more of that with hyperconverged infrastructure, more effect to leverage the cloud. We do see that more subscription and SaaS, right, is the general direction, and that will also be accelerated in this period of time. But collectively, our objective, and I've called it internally, I've called it faster to the future. Right, we're going to embrace this crisis, like Winston Churchill said, never waste a good crisis. We got a good one. Embracing it, get to that future faster and be stronger, right, than our competitors, right? Be better and deeper, more strategically with our customers and partners, so that we are helping them get to that future faster than ever before.
Yeah, I mean, I think we tend to look through the lens of history and be sort of go, why is it happening this way? The lens of platform transitions are helpful because you go, okay, well, why are people adopting cloud infrastructure, broadly speaking? It's because they're building net new applications on cloud, right? It's the whole digital transformation push, we all understand. So, okay, great. All new applications by and large are being built on cloud. Not entirely, but the vast majority, but that's why the cloud providers are growing so fast. That's no different than when we went from sort of mainframe to client server, right? It's no different. We had this platform transition. There was a huge skills gap when you went from this world to the next world. It took a few years for that to catch up because running client server infrastructure is no less complicated than running mainframe. It's just different. And I think that's kind of where we are as an industry, truthfully. I think that the tooling for how to run cloud infrastructure and the problem domain is actually super well understood. How do you do infrastructure operations? It's pretty well understood. How do you do security? Very well understood. Networking? Very well understood. But the population of people that know how to do that is smaller than the demand there is for it. And I think when we went from mainframe to client server, you didn't have this massive pressure on digital transformation happening at the same time. So I think that's a bit of what we're feeling is it's really acute because not only is this an entirely new platform, it dovetails with an enormous business pressure on digital transformation, which just means there's a lack of skill sets for how to do this. It's not unknowable. It's not unknown. we talk about it as a cloud operating model. It's actually really well understood how you use identity as the basis of security, how you use service name as the basis of networking. But the people skills gap is absolutely the challenge, I think.
Episodes of the Looking Ahead podcast with Eric Kaplan are available on thinkahead.com and your favorite podcast platforms.